My sister-in-law accidentally destroyed my wedding dress the day before my wedding, and now my fiancé wants to postpone. Am I overreacting by wanting to cut ties with his entire family? I, 28F, never thought I'd be writing this post, especially not the night before what was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. But here I am, sitting in my childhood bedroom at 2 a.m., mascara streaked down my face, and my beautiful wedding dress in tatters. For context, my fiancé Jake, 30M, and I have been together for 5 years. He's amazing, kind, and supportive, everything I've ever wanted in a partner. But his family? That's another story entirely. From the moment Jake introduced me to them, I felt like an outsider. His mother, Linda, 55F, has always been cold towards me, making snide remarks about my career choice, I'm a social worker, and constantly comparing me to Jake's ex-girlfriends. His father, Tom, 57M, is a bit more welcoming, but he's so passive that he never stands up to Linda when she's being cruel. And then there's Melissa, 26F, Jake's younger sister and the star of this nightmarish show. Melissa has always been the golden child, beautiful, successful, and can do no wrong in her parents' eyes. She's also incredibly possessive of Jake, and I swear she sees me as competition rather than a future sister-in-law. Despite all this, I've tried my best to get along with them for Jake's sake. I've attended every family dinner, laughed at Tom's terrible jokes, and even helped Linda with her charity events. But no matter what I do, it never seems to be enough. When Jake proposed last year, I was over the moon. We started planning our dream wedding, and everything was going smoothly. Until about 3 months ago. That's when Linda and Melissa really ramped up their interference. They criticized every decision we made, the venue wasn't grand enough, the color scheme was tacky, the guest list was too small. Jake tried to mediate, but it only seemed to make things worse. I started to dread every wedding-related conversation. Fast forward to yesterday. The wedding was set for today, and I was a bundle of nerves and excitement. My mom had flown in from out of state to help with last-minute preparations, and we were staying at my childhood home for the night before the ceremony. Around noon, Melissa showed up unannounced. She said she wanted to see the dress and help me get ready for the rehearsal dinner. Against my better judgment, and my mom's warning look, I let her in. I brought out my dress, a gorgeous, vintage-inspired gown that I had fallen in love with instantly. It was delicate lace and silk, with tiny pearl buttons down the back. I had spent months saving up for it, and it fit me like a glove. Melissa's eyes widened when she saw it. "Oh, it's nice," she said, in a tone that clearly meant the opposite. "But don't you think it's a bit plain? I mean, for such an important day?" I bristled but tried to keep my cool. "I love it," I said firmly. "It's exactly what I wanted." She shrugged and asked to take a closer look. I hesitated but eventually agreed. That's when everything went to hell. As Melissa was examining the dress, she accidentally knocked over a glass of red wine that had been sitting on my dresser. The wine spilled all over the dress, seeping into the delicate fabric and leaving huge, dark stains. I screamed. My mom came running in. Melissa stood there, hand over her mouth, eyes wide with what looked like mock horror. "Oh my God," she gasped. "I'm so sorry. It was an accident, I swear." But I knew better. The glass had been nowhere near the dress. She would have had to really reach to knock it over. This was no accident. My mom immediately sprang into action, trying to salvage the dress. We spent hours trying every trick in the book to remove the stains, but it was useless. The dress was ruined. I was devastated. Through my tears, I called Jake to tell him what happened. I expected him to be as angry as I was, to finally see his sister for who she really is. Instead, he sighed heavily and said, "Maybe this is a sign, babe. Maybe we should postpone the wedding." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Postpone? Jake, your sister deliberately ruined my wedding dress. We can't let her win like this. But Jake was adamant. He said we needed time to let things cool down and reevaluate. He even suggested that maybe I was overreacting and that Melissa probably didn't mean to ruin the dress. I was speechless. After everything we'd been through, after all the times I'd bitten my tongue and played nice with his family, he was taking their side. Again. That's when something in me snapped. I told Jake that if he wanted to postpone the wedding, fine. But he shouldn't expect me to be waiting around when he finally decides to grow a spine. I hung up and burst into tears again. My mom held me as I cried, assuring me that I deserved better than this. Now, hours later, I'm sitting here wondering if I've just made the biggest mistake of my life. Part of me wants to call Jake back, to try and salvage this. But a bigger part of me is just done. Done with the constant disrespect, done with always being the bad guy, done with Jake never fully having my back. I'm seriously considering cutting ties with all of them, Jake included. But am I overreacting? Should I give them another chance? I'm lost and could really use some outside perspective. Edit 1. Wow, I didn't expect this post to blow up like it did. Thank you all for your support and advice. I've been reading through the comments and wanted to address a few common questions/points. 1. Yes, there were red flags before, but I was too in love to see them clearly. Jake has always tried to please everyone, which often meant placating his family at my expense. I realize now how unhealthy this dynamic was. 2. Many of you have asked about my dress and if there's any way to salvage it. Unfortunately, it's beyond repair. The wine seeped into the lace and silk, leaving large, dark stains that no amount of cleaning could remove. My mom and I tried everything, professional cleaners, home remedies, you name it. Nothing worked. 3. To those suggesting legal action against Melissa, I've considered it, but I'm not sure it's worth the added stress and drama. Plus, I don't have concrete proof that it was intentional, just my gut feeling and the suspicious circumstances. 4. A lot of you are asking if I've heard from Jake or his family since last night. The answer is yes, and it's not good. I'll post another update soon with the details. Thank you all again. Your support means more than you know. Edit 2. Okay, here's the update I promised. Brace yourselves, because it's a doozy. This morning, I woke up to a barrage of messages and missed calls, mostly from Jake's family. Apparently, Jake told them about our conversation last night and my threat to call off the wedding. Their reactions were not great. Linda left a scathing voicemail, calling me a drama queen and accusing me of trying to tear the family apart. She said I should be grateful that Jake even wanted to marry me in the first place, given how difficult I am. Tom sent a text asking me to be reasonable and not throw away a good thing over a simple accident. He even offered to help pay for a new dress if I agreed to go through with the wedding. Melissa, unsurprisingly, played the victim. She sent a long, tearful voice message about how sorry she was and how she never meant to hurt me. She said she's always thought of me as a sister, and hopes I can find it in my heart to forgive her. The performance was Oscar-worthy, I'll give her that. But the worst was Jake. He finally called around noon, and the conversation went about as well as you'd expect. Me, Jake, I've been waiting to hear from you. Have you had time to think about what happened? Jake, sighing, look, I know you're upset about the dress, but don't you think you're taking this too far? It was an accident. Me, an accident? Jake, your sister deliberately ruined my wedding dress. How can you not see that? Jake, you don't know it was deliberate. Melissa feels terrible about what happened. She's been crying all morning. Me, oh, I'm sure she has. Crocodile tears are her specialty. Jake, see, this is exactly what I'm talking about. You're always so negative about my family. They're trying their best to welcome you, but you never give them a chance. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It was like we were living in two completely different realities. Me, Jake, your family has been nothing but cruel to me from day one. Your mother constantly belittles me, your sister sabotages every attempt I make to be part of the family, and you just stand by and let it happen. Jake, that's not fair. I've always stood up for you. Me, when have you ever truly taken my side against your family? There was a long pause. I could practically hear Jake scrambling for an example, but we both knew he couldn't find one. Jake, quietly, I love you, but I love my family too. Why can't you understand that? Why does it have to be a choice? And that's when I realized, it's always been a choice. And Jake has always chosen his family over me. I was just too blind to see it. Me, it doesn't have to be a choice, Jake. Not if your family respected me and our relationship. But they don't, and you've never done anything to change that. Jake, so what are you saying? That it's over? I took a deep breath, tears streaming down my face. Me, I think it has to be. I can't marry someone who won't stand up for me. I deserve better than that. Jake, voice breaking, please, don't do this. We can work it out. We can postpone the wedding, go to counseling, anything. Just don't throw away 5 years over one mistake. Me, it's not just one mistake, Jake. It's 5 years of mistakes. 5 years of me compromising and bending over backwards to please your family, while you did nothing to protect me from them. I'm sorry, but I can't do it anymore. Jake started to protest, but I cut him off. Me, I'll have my things out of the apartment by the end of the week. Please don't try to contact me. I need space to heal. And with that, I hung up. I sat there for a long time, phone in hand, wondering if I'd just made the biggest mistake of my life or dodged the world's biggest bullet. So, that's where things stand now. The wedding is officially off. I'm heartbroken, angry, and honestly a little scared about what the future holds. But a small part of me also feels relieved? Like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. I know I have a long road ahead of me. There's still so much to deal with, canceling vendors, returning gifts, explaining to my family and friends what happened. Not to mention the emotional fallout of ending a 5-year relationship. But for the first time in a long time, I feel like I'm standing up for myself. Like I'm choosing my own happiness over everyone else's expectations. Thank you all for your support and advice. It really helped me find the strength to make this difficult decision. I may post another update once the dust settles, but for now, I'm going to focus on healing and rediscovering who I am outside of this relationship. Wish me luck, Reddit. I think I'm going to need it. Edit 3, final update, probably. It's been a week since everything went down, and I wanted to give you all one last update before I close this chapter of my life. First of all, thank you. Your support and kind words have been a lifeline during this nightmare. I've read every comment, and they've helped me stay strong when I've felt like crumbling. So, here's what's happened since my last update. 1. I moved out of Jake's apartment. It was hard, packing up 5 years of my life into boxes. Jake wasn't there, he's been staying with his parents. In a way, I'm glad. I don't think I could have handled seeing him. 2. I've been staying with my best friend, Sarah. She's been amazing, letting me cry on her shoulder and distracting me with bad movies and good wine. 3. I sent out emails to all our wedding guests explaining that the wedding was cancelled. I kept it vague, just saying that Jake and I had decided to go our separate ways. Most people have been understanding, though I've had to field a lot of concerned calls from relatives. 4. Jake's family has been persistent. Linda has switched tactics from anger to guilt, sending long emails about how I'm breaking her son's heart and tearing the family apart. Tom keeps offering to mediate, as if this is just a simple misunderstanding that can be smoothed over. Melissa has been oddly quiet, though Sarah swears she saw her at our local bar, flirting with one of Jake's friends. Classy, Mel. Real classy. 5. Jake himself has been a mixed bag. He oscillates between begging me to reconsider and accusing me of giving up too easily. He sent flowers to my work, which I donated to a nearby nursing home, left teary voicemails, and even showed up at Sarah's place one night. She didn't let him in. It's like he can't decide if he wants to win me back or make me the villain in his story. 6. I've started therapy. My therapist is helping me work through my feelings and recognize the patterns of emotional abuse I was subjected to. It's tough, but I know it's necessary. 7. I'm focusing on myself. I've joined a yoga class, started journaling, and even signed up for a pottery workshop I've always wanted to try. It's baby steps, but I'm slowly remembering who I am outside of my relationship with Jake. The hardest part in all of this has been the moments of doubt. There are times when I miss Jake so much it physically hurts. Times when I wonder if I'm making a huge mistake, if I should have tried harder to make it work. But then I remember how it felt to always come second to his family. How exhausting it was to constantly fight for basic respect and consideration. How lonely I felt, even when we were together. And I know, deep in my heart, that I made the right choice. I'm not going to lie, the road ahead looks scary. I'm 28, starting over, with a broken heart and a whole lot of trust issues. But I'm also stronger than I've ever been. I know what I want, what I deserve, and I'm not willing to settle for less anymore. To those of you in similar situations, whether it's with a partner or in-laws or anyone else who makes you feel small, please know that you deserve better. It's okay to walk away. It's okay to choose yourself. Thank you again, Reddit. You've been a bright spot in a dark time. I probably won't be updating this post again, but know that your kindness and support have made a real difference in my life. Wish me luck as I start this new chapter. And hey, if anyone knows where I can find a slightly used wedding dress, let me know. I hear they make great Halloween costumes.